ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, text number 42-43. Savitram Prajapatyam Cha Savitram Prajapatyam Cha Brahmam Cha Ata Brahattata Brahmam Chata Brahattata Varta Sanchaya Shalina वार्ता संचयशालीना शीलोंचा इति वै गृहे शीलोंचा इति वै गृहे सावित्रं प्राजापत्यं च ब्राह्मं चाता बृहत्तता वार्ता संचयशालीना शीलोंचा इति वै गृहे सावित्रं प्राजापत्यं च ब्राह्मं चाता बृहत्तता वार्ता संचयशालीना शीलोंचा इति वै गृहे. Savitram, the thread ceremony of the twice born. Prajapatyam, to execute the vow for 1 year. Cha, and Brahmam, acceptance of the Vedas. Cha, and Ata, also Brahad, complete abstinence from sex life. Tata, then Varta, vocation in terms of Vedic sanction. Sanchaya, professional duty. Shalina, livelihood without asking anyone for cooperation. Shila Vunchaha, picking up rejected grains. Iti, thus, why, even though, Grahe, in household life. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Then the thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were the rules to be followed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas. Rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life. Vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining a livelihood without anyone's cooperation by picking up rejected grains. Please repeat the translation. Then the thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as per the rules to be followed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas. Rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life, vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining a livelihood without anyone's cooperation by picking up rejected grains. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. During student life, the brahmacharis were given full instructions about the importance of the human form of life. Thus, the basic education was designed to encourage the student in becoming free from family encumbrances. Only students unable to accept such a vow in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. Otherwise, the student would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. It all depended on the quality of the student's training. We had the opportunity to meet an avowed brahmachari in the personality of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Such a great soul is called Naishtika Brahmachari. Next verse I'll recite myself. Vaikanasa Valakilyo Dhumbara Fenapavane Nyase Kutichaka Purvam Bahvado Hamsa Nishkriyao. Translation. The four divisions of retired life are the Vaikanasas, Valakilyas, Audambara and the Fenapas. The four divisions of the renounced order of life are the Kutichakas, Bahvodas, Hamsas and Nishkriyas. All these were manifested from Brahma. Purport. The Varnashrama Dharma, are the institution of the four divisions and orders of social and spiritual life, is now a new invention, is not a new invention of the modern age, as proposed by the less intelligent. It is an institution established by the Brahma from the beginning of the creation. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya Shrishtam. Doesn't see Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimira Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So continuation, what and all Brahma had created. In the last term we saw, he had created the four orders of life, now four ashramas of life. Chaturvarnyam. Varna and ashrama, two categories are there. So here, the four ashramas, brahmachari, grahastha were described in the first verse. Vanaprastha and sannyasa were described in the second verse. So Savitram means the twice born as initiation. Then Prajapatyam cha, to practice this for at least 1 year. Then Brahmam cha, complete acceptance of the Vedas. Next, Brihat Tataha. Brihat Tataha means complete abstinence from sex life, Akanda Brahmachari. Then Varta, vocation in terms of Vedic education. These are for Grahasthas. The first four are for Brahmachari. Now it is Grahastha. Varta, vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions. Then Sanchaya, professional duties in household life. Shalina, Shiloncha, means a method of maintaining a livelihood without accepting cooperation by picking up rejected grains in the fields and market yard. Iti vai grihe. These are the duties of householder life, grihasthashram. The purport Prabhupada explains what was the purpose of basic education. So basic education was designed to encourage students in becoming free from family encumbrances, not to become attached. Only students unable to accept such a vow in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. So commitment is more towards encouraging renouncement of material world. So if you are not able to renounce, okay, get married. But again, regulated. Practice the family life in a regulated way. Otherwise, the student would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. And the next verse it talks about Vaikanasa Valakilyo Dumbara Fenapavane. Vane means Vanaprasthas. So who is Vaikanasa? Vaikanasa means those who live on half-boiled meals. Vaikanasa. Valakilya means one who quits his former stock of grains on receipt of new one. Every year crop comes. So as soon as you get the new crop, the old crop grains were rejected. This is the second variety. The third one is Audambara, one who lives on what he gets from direction towards which he starts after rising from bed. So he will only go in unidirection, and whatever he gets in that day, he'll be satisfied. They are known as Audambara. Then there are Phenapa, one who lives on fruits which automatically fall from the tree. So only that ripened fruit, when it falls from the tree, they eat. They do not go pluck the fruits and they do not eat. So that is the principle here. Then Nyase, for renounced order of life, Sannyasa. Kutichaka, the life in the family without attachment. Bahvodaha, giving up all material activities and engaging fully in transcendental service. First thing in sannyasa is to become detached. Then attachment to Krishna, starts acting in devotional service. Then Hamsa, fully engaged in transcendental knowledge. He is fully equipped with transcendental knowledge. Then Nishkriya, stopping all kinds of fruitive activities. Or all kinds of activities, there is no fruitive activity. All kinds of activity. They go into the state of Samadhi. They isolate themselves in complete absorption unto the Lord. So all these are manifested from Brahma, Purvam. And Prabhupada writes in the purport. So generally people may think this Varnashrama system is a modern day invention. But Prabhupada says it started from Brahma's time itself. They were all from initial days. And Krishna himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. It is my creation. I had designed this system. So in various places, Prabhupada explains this details about these 4 divisions. In one purport says, Prabhupada says, there are 4 orders of spiritual life. Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. And in each of these ashramas, there are 4 divisions. So Brahmachari has 4, Grahastha has 4, Vanaprastha has 4 and Sannyasa has 4. The divisions of Brahmachari are Savitriya, Prajapatya, Brahma and Brahat. Grahastha are Varta, Sanchaya, Shalina, Shilonchana. Vanaprasthas are Vaikanasa, Valakilya, Audambara, Phenapa, and Sannyasis are Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Hamsa and Nishkriya. And in Sannyasis there are again 2 categories, Dhiras and Narottamas. The advancement they present. Dhira means one who is regulated personality. Narottama, he is like Uttama Purusha. He is like Uttamadhikari level. He is the highest personality. So Narada Muni is a Naistika Brahmachari, and there are 4 types of Brahmacharyas. The first one is known as Savitriya, which refers to a Brahmachari after initiation and sacred ceremony must observe at least 3 days of celibacy. Means Brahmachari, at least when he after initiated, he should at least maintain 3 days of celibacy. The next is Prajapatya, which refers to a Brahmachari observe celibacy for at least 1 year after initiation. Next one is Brahma Brahmachari, who observes celibacy from the time of initiation up to the time of completion of his study of Vedic literatures. Then the 4th one is Naistika Brahmachari, who maintains celibacy throughout his entire life. So these are the 4 divisions in Brahmacharya. Out of these 3, the first 3 are Upakurvana, which means the Brahmachari can marry after the Brahmacharya period is over. The Naistika Brahmachari is completely reluctant to have any sex life. Therefore, the Kumaras and Narada are known as Naistika Brahmacharis. And such Brahmacharis are also called as Veeravrata, because their vow of celibacy is a heroic as the vows of the Kshatriyas. To maintain Brahmacharya for entire lifetime, that's why they are known as Veeravratas. The Brahmachari system, what is advantage of Brahmachari? Prabhupada explains now. The Brahmachari system of life especially advantages that it increases the power of memory and determination. It is specially mentioned in connection that because Narada was a Naistika Brahmachari, he could remember whatever he heard from his spiritual master and would never forget it. So one who can remember everything perpetually is called as Shrutidhara. A Shrutidhara brahmachari can repeat verbatim all that he has heard without notes and without reference to books. Even after having so many books, we will forget. After the end of the class, what was said, we will forget. The speaker will forget and the hearer will also forget. But they are known as Shrutidhara, Ekasantagrahi. They don't require books because it is written in the mind. Notes is written in the mind. And that verbatim means in a systematic way they will be able to say whatever they have heard. The great sage Narada has his qualification, and therefore, having taken instruction from Narayan Rishi, he engaged in propagating the philosophy of bhakti all over the world. Next, in other places, what Prabhupada had explained about brahmacharya. So, the purpose of brahmacharya is for development of character and spiritual qualities. So, if the character is right and the qualities are there, he will become a best personality. That's why the foundation is very important. If the foundation is strong, you can build any number of floors. But if the foundation is weak, the building will crumble very faster. So, the character building and spiritual qualities development are very important, which are taught in the stage of brahmacharya. So, brahmacharya life is a student life which is rigorous, disciplined and austere. It is a life of cultivation, preparing for the future. In all ashramas, devotees are cultivating Krishna consciousness, preparing for the examination of death. But brahmacharya period is specifically meant for training. Training in how to control the senses, how to subdue the mind, training to be a grahastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa. So, brahmacharya stage is a complete training. How to perform in the other stages. This training is by submission to, service to and friendship to the spiritual master. Submiss, service and friendship with the spiritual master. This is how the training happens. So then one more, a couple of quotes by Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, 13th and 14th shloka. Prabhupada explains about importance of brahmacharya. He says, Karmada manasa vacha sarva vastasu sarvada sarvatra maituna tyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. So, karmana manasa vacha, by activities, in the mind or in the words. Sarva vastastu sarvada, in all times, in all circumstances. Sarvatra maituna tyago, he, one who quits the sexual topics, discussion, thoughts or in activities. Brahmacharyam prachakshate, he is considered to be a brahmachari. Next, Prabhupada explains, there are descriptions of Vedas, in the Vedas of brahmacharya, which characterize the beginning of a life dedicated to tapasya. Brahmachari life is a tapasya. So, in this, Prabhupada explains, there are 8 kinds of subtle sex which a devotee should avoid. Smaranam kirtanam kelihi, prekshanam guhya bhashanam, sankalpo adyavasayascha, kriya nivritti revacha, etan mitunam ashtangam pravadanti manishinaha, viparitam brahmacharyam etad evashta lakshanam, iti samo manaso niyamam damo bahyendriyanam, tyago danam yamo ahimsadihi, niyamo japadihi. This is quoted from Bhavartha Deepika by Sridhar Swamy for commentary for 6th canto, 1st chapter, 13th shloka. So, these 8 stages, they are elaborated as smaranam. Not this is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Smaranam of woman. Thinking about woman. One should not think of opposite sex, but one should think only of Krishna and his service as given by spiritual master. So, if you are having any problem, the recommendation is we should memorize verses so that whenever there is a disturbance, you can concentrate on the verses and the chanting of songs, verses and all these things and all. Alternatives. Then Kirtanam. One should not talk of sex life. It is called as Prajalpa. But one should only talk of Krishna and discuss one's realization with one's friends and other brahmacharis. This is called as practice of gravity. Then Kelihi. Don't play or dally with opposite sex. Even in service related, we should try to minimize as maximum as personal interactions with them. This is called as avyartha kalatvam. Pure devotees don't waste their time because they are always conscious to make sure that they are all positively engaged in Krishna consciousness. Then the one is prekshanam. Do not lustfully look at the opposite sex. Focus our eyes on the deity form of the Lord. Not to look at opposite personal sex. It should be the intent should be to have the closer view and the better description of the Lord. Then guhyabhyasanam. Don't talk intimately with opposite sex in a secluded place. Make strong friendship with other devotees, and you can offer choiceful prayers to the deity instead. You can offer your heart to the deity, to the spiritual master. Then sankalpaha. Don't decide to engage in sexual intercourse. Make sure you get proper counseling from senior devotees. If you are coming into that state of mind, so thinking, feeling, willing, constantly thinking of opposite sex, we should not sankalpaha, determination. Like outside world, people will make determination. I have to make this girl fall for me. They start working in that direction. So they will be continuously be thinking how to trap opposite sex. Either girl or boy, it could be anyone. So, but that sankalpa should be for serving the Lord. How I can serve better. How to improve my service to the Lord. How to improve my understanding of the scriptures. So, that determination should be towards spiritual subjects. Then, adya vashayas. Do not endeavor for sex life. Endeavor to improve or get better in the association of the devotees, whatever we are given this opportunity. Always strive. Wherever I am, how to improve my understanding, how to improve my character, how to improve my service, surrender, how to increase my sincerity towards the Lord and spiritual master. The last one is kriya nivrittihi. Don't engage in sex life. Doing it has more trouble in store for you by degradation of health, loss of peace and anxiety, loss of peace, increase in anxiety. Control the senses, mind and activities by devotional service. So, recommendation is brahmacharya life is the best life. Because Prabhupada says in one place, if you are brahmachari, 75% you will come back to Godhead. If you become grahastha, 25% you will come back to Godhead. Because other 75% you are dedicated about family, wife, children, what will happen to them, all these things and all. So, your attention towards Krishna is only 25% because other 75% is driven away or carried away towards family members. So, brahmacharya is the best opportunity, is recommended. So, nivrittir evacha, one executes brahmacharya when all these activities come to a halt. It should be nivritti, complete abstinence. So, etan maitunyam astangam pravadanti manishinaha. For those who are intelligent, thoughtful people, manishinaha, etan maitunyam astanga, these 8 kinds of subtle sex, pravadanti, they say, they break the brahmacharya principle. These are 8 deviants which break our brahmacharya principle. Vikarita brahmacharyam eda ashtanam lakshanam iti. So we must avoid these 8 interruptions with great care, hard work and diligent self-introspection. So these are the technicalities what Prabhupada had explained about brahmacharya. Then explained about grahastha life. In 11th canto, Uddhava, he was asking questions about all the varnashrama system. Krishna was giving the various aspects of each ashrama and each other things. So the duties of a grahastha are Vedadhyaya Swada Swaha, Bali Annadyer Yatodhyam, Devarshi Pitar Bhutani, Madrupani Anuaham Yajet. So duties of a grahastha are Veda Adhyayaha, he should study Vedas. Swada, he should offer for the forefathers by chanting the mantra Swaha, Swadha. Swaha is for demigods. Bali is for other living entities. Anna are there for guests and other human beings, food and drink. Yatadayam, according to one's capacity. Because a grahastha, people will come to him for begging for alms. He should give according to his capacity, dana. Devarashi Pitar Bhutani. He should see all living entities and he should engage in the service of all other living entities. Deva, demigods, Rishi, the sages, Pitar, forefathers, Bhutani, other living entities, as Madrupani, as my representations. Anu Aham Yajet, and he should engage in these 5 kinds of sacrifices. They are known as Panchopashana. A Grahastha has to engage in 5 kinds of sacrifices, Panchopashana daily, so that he is free from all sinful tendencies that occur for that day. Then further it says, Yadruchaya upapannena shuklena uparjitena va danena Brityan apidayan nyayena eva aharet kratun. So it says, Danena Brithyena apidayan. He should comfortably maintain his dependence, because you have taken the responsibility of a family. Your wife and children have to be comfortably maintained. At least they get proper food, proper shelter, proper protection. So these things should be taken care, because you have taken the responsibility. Then Upapannena yadruchaya, and he should be satisfied with money which comes of its own accord. That's also Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Yadrushta labha santushtaha. Be satisfied with whatever comes with its own accord. Because certain things in our life are destined. Destiny means it is fixed. Whatever we are going to earn in our life is fixed. So if you do vaya prayasaha, that prayasa is only vyaya, it will be waste of endeavor. So sometimes people think, in shortcut, I will cheat people and get money more so that I can enjoy more. The money which comes faster will go away faster also. You will not be able to keep it also. You will not be able to hold it. You cheat somebody, somebody else will cheat from you and take away. So that's why the thing is, be satisfied. Yadrushta labha santushtaha. So he is also said, Yadruchaya upapannena. Earn and be satisfied with whatever it comes of your record. Next. Shuklena uparajitena, or with that gathered by honest execution of one's duties. Without cheating others, whatever you earn by your profession, be happy with that. Shuklena, clean, white, transparent in business, be satisfied with that. Then, aharet kratun nyayena eva. So, according to one's means, one should perform sacrifices and other religious ceremonies. So, if you are supposed to celebrate a festival, according to your capacity, you celebrate. You have 100 rupees capacity, like we have, whatever money we have, when we go to a restaurant, we order according to that money. You have 100 rupees and you don't order 1000 rupees food there. Because next moment after eating, you have to work hard to digest whatever you have eaten by washing. So, you may have to do any other activities to pay back the 1000 rupees. So, why you have to do all the things after eating? So, eat according to your pocket. So, this is what is also said. So, one has to perform the sacrifices according to one's capacity. Next, about Vanaprastha, further it says, Vanaprastha ashrama padeshu abhikshnam bhaiksham acharet samsidyati asu asammohaha shuddha sattva shila andasa. So, Vanaprastha ashrama padeshu, one who is taken this position of Vanaprastha, abhikshanam bhaiksham acharet, he should practice the charity, taking charity from others, because he doesn't cook. Vanaprasthas are dependent on others, charity. Only Grahastha is a person who is allowed to cook and eat. All the others will do bhikshatana. They eat by begging only. So, by this process of begging from others, what happens? Asammohaha, we become free from illusion. Next, samsidyati ashu, and one becomes perfect in spiritual life. By begging from others, one becomes free from illusion and becomes perfect in spiritual life. Then, Shila Andasa, one who subsists on food grains obtained in a humble manner. Shuddha Sattvaha, purifies his existence. So, in that way, one becomes humbler and his existence is purified. Next. This is about sannyasa life. Yastu asamyata shadvargaha. So, one who has not controlled these 6 forms of illusion, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, shadvargaha. Prachanda indriya saratihi. The intelligence is like prachanda, very force, fiery. And indriya saratihi, he is the driver. Like the mind is directed by intelligence, he is like a strong force towards the mind and the senses. Yeah. Then, jnana vairagya rahitaha. Because of attached to external material things, he becomes bereft of jnana vairagya rahitaha. Knowledge and detachment. Then, tridandam upajivati. Who adopts a sannyasa order of life to make a show of life. Upajivati. Sannyasa, go everywhere, beg, maintain for this body, belly. So that is not the jivana. Suran atmanam atmastam. One should consider the demigods, the soul and the super soul within you. Sir, one who denies the demigods, his own self and the Supreme Lord within himself. Nihunte mamsha. One who denies who is the Supreme Lord within all living entities. Dharmaha. He is a destroyer of religious principles. Avipakva kashayaha. His austerities are avipakvaha. They are not fructified. They are spoiled. And he is infected by material contaminations. And asmad cha vihiyate. He is deviated and lost both in this life and in the next life. Asmat in this life, amusmat in the future life also. So one who is practicing sannyasa should not be for maintenance of body, not for accumulation of money, not for sense enjoyment in the name of cheating. So he should be a sincere, serious follower. So by understanding all these technical details, so one should be committed in whatever ashrama we are. Whether brahmachari, he has to follow the duties of brahmachari. If you are a grihastha, follow the duties of grihastha. If you are a vanaprastha, follow the things so that we set an example for others. And the great devotees in the past have also given us the direction. Like today is Ganesh Chaturthi. He is a great Vaishnava. And because of his mercy, we all have Mahabharata. So, if you go to Badrika Ashrama backside, there will be Vyasa Gufa and Ganesha Gufa. It is said that Vyasadeva, when he was contemplating to write Mahabharata, Mahabharata is a huge subject. So Vyasadeva had compiled in 1 lakh verses. So he was thinking of somebody who is competent to help him in writing down. So at that time, Lord Brahma, understanding the situation of Vyasadeva, he appeared and recommended to accept Ganesha as the scribe. So one who writes. So Ganesha put one condition to Vyasadeva, see that my pen doesn't stop. So then Vyasadeva said, okay, if you are writing, understand what you are writing, then put it into writing. So every shloka when Vyasadeva says, not just don't write, you understand first, then put it into writing. So Vyasadeva was buying time, so that if there is any in between, you will be not able to get some idea. So he was buying time. He used to add some complicated sloka so that Ganesha will get involved in contemplating whether it is correct or not, or to understand what was that complex word, one word, it can make you crazy. So in that way, that competition was, one will non-stop speak, the other one was non-stop write. But conditions apply. So in that way, both of them had endeavored, and because of which we enjoy Mahabharata. This is there in the first canto, 9th chapter in one purport. Prabhupada explains this perspective. So, generally devotees are very compassionate. So, their compassion is given so that this Mahabharata is meant for Stri Shudra Dvijabandhunam, Trayina Shruti Gochara, because they are not much conversant with Vedas. So, for them, all the essence of the Vedas is taught through stories. In the stories, the essence is given as the morality. So that people, by hearing through stories, by hearing through personalities, by seeing the characters, they can develop their personalities. So we should not do like this, we should do like this. That's the compassion of Acharyas. For different categories of people, they have given different subjects. And in the next 4 days, we will be having Radhashtami also. So there are different stories about how Srimati Radharani appeared in this material world. One was the curse between Sudama and Radharani in the spiritual world, which is continued as Tulsi story also. So one more story was narrated by Narada Muni to Paurnamasi. This is mentioned in Lalita Madhava. So this story is about Vindhya Parvata, because there are different mountains and different personalities. So Vindhya mountains, she always was little envious of Himalaya, because Himalaya had Parvati Devi as his daughter, and because of which he was able to marry her to Lord Shiva, and he was having great son-in-law, Lord Shiva. So Vindhya mountain was little envious, and he wanted to have a better daughter than Parvati, and he wanted a son-in-law who will be able to defeat even Lord Shiva in a battle. So he went to perform severe austerities, and finally, by being satisfied by his severe austerities, Lord Brahma had appeared. And when Lord Brahma appeared, Vindhya mountain said, I wanted a daughter who is glorious than Parvati Devi, so that she will be able to marry to a even glorious personality who will be able to defeat Lord Shiva in a battle. So Brahma became satisfied, and he said Tathastu. Now after saying Tathastu, now he began to wonder, who is a great personality, who is better than Parvati? And who will be her husband, who will be better than Lord Shiva? Then he understood that now the time for Lord Krishna's appearance is there in this material world. So now when Krishna is coming, anyhow Radharani will be coming. So I will pray to Srimati Radharani that she becomes the daughter of Vindhya mountain. But by that time, Radharani already appeared in the womb of, or near, for the pretense, they say, in the womb of Vrishabhanu's wife, Kirtita, she is already there. So Lord Brahma started engaging in tapasya for Radharani. So after severe tapasya, Radharani appeared, and when Brahma prayed to her that you give an opportunity to Vindhya mountain, she said, so be it. So Vindhya mountain, very soon he performed a sacrifice in which he had 2 girl daughters. One was Radharani, the other was Chandravali. Rukmini, Satyabhama, they are like left wing, right wing, 2 personalities came. One was very soft, the other is very aggressive, demanding, commanding category. One was very submissive, humble. So 2 personalities appeared. In the meantime, Krishna had appeared, and Kamsa, when he tried to smash the 8th girl, so Yogamaya appeared, and she gave a warning that the person to kill you is appeared elsewhere. And she explained how in his previous life was Karanemi, and how he was killed by the Lord. So very soon Lord is appearing. Lord has already appeared with his 8 powerful potencies. And who is going to marry these 8 personalities will become the Rajadi Raja. So one who is going to become the emperor of all the kings. So then Kamsa, after coming back, he informed Putana, you kill all the male babies and bring all the female babies to him. Then Putana started going everywhere. All the male babies were killed, and female she was carrying. So she also came near Vindhya mountain, and she saw 2 beautiful daughters. So immediately picked up those both daughters and started flying away. When Vindhya mountain saw this, her daughters being abducted, he immediately instructed the Brahmanas to chant mantras by which the witches can be killed, like Putana can be killed. So they started chanting mantras. Since Putana cannot be killed, they started taking away her power. She will not be able to fly. So at one particular point, the entire strength of Putana was coming down. So she was not able to carry both the babies. She threw one baby down into a river, which was collected by Bhishmaka, the king of Vidarbha. So who became his daughter in the later, like she will become like Rukmini. So then when she was 5 years old, she was there in the father's place. Then she was taken away by Jambavan and handed over to, in Vraja, Chandrabhanu, who will become Chandravali. The other daughter, then Putana was still flying. When she reached near Vraja to reach before Mathura, her strength was completely depleted. She could not fly any more further. So she immediately dropped that baby also. So when that baby fell on the river Yamuna into a beautiful golden 1,000-petal lotus flower. So there, she was floating on the lotus, golden lotus. At that particular point, Vrishabhanu Maharaj every day used to come to perform his morning duties in river Yamuna. So when he saw a golden lotus, which was like having effulgence like 1,000 suns, so he was wondering how come such a golden lotus was available. So he, with his enthusiasm, he went near the golden lotus. So when he went inside, he saw within the wall a beautiful baby girl. So when he picked up that baby girl, immediately Lord Brahma appeared there and explained to Vrishabhanu Maharaj that in his previous life, he was the king of by the name known as Sucharu. So after his marriage to his wife Kalavati, they immediately went to forest for performing austerities. They lived only on the roots of the plants, and they did tapasya to have darshan of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was pleased by their sacrifices, and he personally gave them the benediction that very soon the Supreme Goddess will be their daughter. So in their next birth, Sucharu and Kalavati appeared as Maharaj Vrishabhanu and Kirtida. They already had a son by name Sridama. And now, through the benediction of Brahma, they have the daughter Srimati Radharani. The child, when he picked up, she was so sweet, soft and tender like a lotus petal. Her nose was like a sesame seed, and her lips were like rosy red. She was radiating a golden hue from the lotus flower. So Maharaj Vrishabhanu picked up the girl, took permission from Lord Brahma, went home and handed over to Mother Kirtida. And that's how the birth of Radharani happened near Raval. When we go to the temple in the Raval, backside there is Yamuna flowing, and it is said that Radharani was found there by Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So in that way, her appearance into this material world has acted. In various Puranas, different details are explained. But for us, this is almost the basis which is taken as by all the Acharyas. Because sometimes it is said Radharani is elder to Krishna, and sometimes it is said Krishna is elder to Radharani. No, which is correct? Different Puranas, different versions are there. Because different times in different kalpas, in different Brahmandas, because Krishna appears, so different stories would have been collected. So Puranas are information of not only of this universe, they are of different universe. That's why we may have this comparison problem. Because it is also said that Radharani did not open her eyes. So she wanted to see Krishna only the first personality. So as per this story, then when Krishna was still at that time walking, and Radharani was in the cradle. Now if you say who is elder, Krishna is elder. So Krishna, one day they were very happy. Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Maharani were very happy. But one thing they had problem was that the daughter would not open their eyes. They were thinking she was blind. So after 1 year, the birthday ceremony was celebrated in a grand way. They invited everyone. And Nanda Maharaj was invited as a special guest. So Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Rohini, Krishna and Balarama, they were in the walking stage, toddlers. So they all came there. So Kirtida and the ladies, they went away one group. Nanda Maharaj and Vrishabhanu, they went away another group. Krishna and Balarama were left aside. So they were thinking what to do. At that time, Krishna saw the baby Radharani in a cradle. So he slowly crawled towards her, stood up near the cradle, and he touched the hand of Radharani. As soon as Radharani could touch Krishna, she perceived her eternal Lord has come. And she opened her eyes first time and she saw Krishna. So after that, then all the other parents came and they were thinking, no, he is not a blind girl. And she was a girl with vision. So from that day, Radharani, the first person she wanted to see is our beloved Lord Krishna only. So with this perspective, with this story, it is said that Radharani is younger to Lord Krishna. But other things might not be able to understand or comprehend by our limited knowledge. But Acharyas have given various elaborate descriptions. We have to understand them, maybe some other universe, some other pastime, some other perspective. Not relate one thing with the others. So we'll get confused. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి